All right, so many thanks for staying with us. That was a beautiful and amazing rendition by Chris Bright. He calls this I Belong. A very talented young gospel singer, songwriter who is known for his passionate devotion to reconciling humanity back to God through his soulful music and inspiring lyrics. Now, driven by his unwavering faith and commitment, Chris Bright continues to impact the gospel music scene, using his talents to spread the message of hope, love, and redemption. His mission is clear: to lead people into a deeper relationship with God. And of course, he is live with us in the studio. Good morning once again. It's great to have you in the studio today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start with the song, because that was really beautiful.
Nice.
Thank you
So talk to us, before we get into how it all began, talk to us about the song. What inspired the specific lyrics that you used in that song?
That song is, as all my songs, are really personal. Got in the place of prayer and fellowship with God, and that particular song, was a time in my life where I was really going through things, and I felt God was asking me, what is your priority? Am I your priority, or are these challenges? So basically, take your eyes off the challenges and look to me. So that was where that song came from, was birthed from, and glory to God. It's been a blessing.
Because you can tell.
Yes.
You can tell.
I actually like the lyrics, and then, like I told you before we came on screen, like it's a reminder of who you belong to.
Yeah, we don't live for ourselves.
Nice.
So much.
Interesting. Okay, so let's get to your personal journey, how it all began. I'm sure you're used to it by now. What started it? At what point did you know that this was something that you were going to do, or maybe that you have like a calling? God is asking you to do this. Use your talents that I've gave you to XYZ. So talk to us about it. Your early journey.
Okay, I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Okay, because I grew up, as many Christians nowadays. I grew up in a Christian home, obviously. Been to go to church all my life, right? But I didn't meet God until I think it was about 2008, thereabouts, and had a real experience for the first time ever. And since then, I have devoted my life and my time to serving in the church, from the church choir, so that's where I started honing in on the talent, and obviously the prayer, the consecration came later on, and I knew this was my calling, from prophetic experiences to visions, and to the more you spend time with God, the more you begin to find your calling, and then it becomes clearer to you. So this has been my journey ever since, and again, just to keep it short, it's been graceful, really graceful.
Indeed. So like when it dawned on you that this was something you were going to do, like how did you process it? I ask it that way because a lot of people, when they notice they can sing, there's different things that they want. Some people want to blow.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people want to be famous.
Yeah, exactly.
All kinds of things. I mean, you have the talent. You're using it for God, though, but the motivation. There are different reasons for why people do what they do.
Exactly.
So, but because I find it's significant that you mentioned consecration. So, are you able to pinpoint a certain day or time when it became clear, this is my mandate? This is what God is telling me to do specifically.
Yeah, I think it dawned on me in 2022, precisely. Yeah, obviously you do music, like me, I do shows. I work with a lot of artists from my time in the secular,
everywhere.
exactly, down to to the gospel scene. But even in gospel music, you see a lot of things, and you desire. It's okay to desire certain things, to desire fame, but it's the motive for me. Why do I desire fame? I had to ask myself that question. I asked myself with God, what exactly do I want to get out of this? So that was where the consecration slowly began to build with the Holy Spirit, and then obviously I it started to shift from just singing music to mandate for me. Yeah.
SB.
Quite interesting. And I must say that, yeah, for many people, whether you're a musician or whatever thing you're doing, there should be a time that you discover that, why am I doing what I'm doing? Very inspiring. Now, for you, who were your earliest, how will I put it, inspiration or influence, both musically and spiritually?
Okay, my early years, I'd say my mom. My mom was she actually sings. She sings too. So I used to follow her to to choir rehearsals and things like that. So that started this whole thing pretty much. And then obviously further down the years, I'd look up to. It helps when we have people to look up to. I worked with Adaehi for like about 10 years, thereabout. So it helps to also learn, from their wealth of experience, obviously, with people that have gone ahead, Pastor Nathaniel Bassis and, the likes. And my spiritual father in the Lord as well, Apostle Joshua Selman, has been a life mentor, a life coach for me in my life for the past few years now. So it helps to have people who have gone ahead and show you that things are possible. It's possible to be holy, to be consecrated, and still make impact for the kingdom. So it helps.
That's quite interesting. Wow. Now, how did you first receive the conviction? And what was the moment like for you,
I still remember it like it was yesterday. It was how they say it's a come to Jesus moment. When things become real, when you hear about the Christian life, it's especially like people like us who grew up in church, so you don't really think that, okay, it's religion, it's normal to you, until when it becomes real to you, it's something you can never forget. I was speaking to a few people a while ago. It's something you can't forget that feeling. At that point, it switches from being just you switch from being just a Christian to a convicted Christian. It creates a stronghold in your heart, in your mind. So I can't forget getting to that point. I remember praying for about a period of a month, every night at 12. So I had, certain experiences that, that further ingrained the God life. It became real to me in a way that I couldn't explain. And it's been burning since then by the special grace of God.
Okay, so let's talk about mandate, because it's also what we're talking about.
Yes.
So from what we have here, your mandate is to release the days of heaven upon the earth through psalmistry. Yes. What does that mean to you personally?
Yes, so it's about knowing what God is doing part time. So the days of heaven is what heaven is doing, what God is saying part time. So I'm basically saying I'm just a vessel, to transport the realities, transport the possibilities of what God is doing part time. So at the end of the day, as believers, we are supposed to be vessels, channels through which God could speak through us, move through us. Whatever He wants to do, He can do through us. So that's basically what I'm saying. Just that my tool is music.
Okay.
Is music, yeah.
Okay. So how do you now use music as a channel for that mandate?
Yes.
How do you? Is it just in the lyrics? Is it
It's in the sound.
Okay.
The king won't come without a sound. If we are in the business of hosting God. That's what music ministry is. Hosting God and leading people to also host God for themselves. So it's in the sound, it's in the lyrics, it's in every aspect of the song, of the project, whatever thing we're doing is to host God, to see to it that God can make His abode, right, in it with us. So yeah.
It's amazing.
Really amazing indeed. And I'm watching this particular clip. I'm a bit curious. Can you talk to us about this? When and where was this?
This was Rockfest 2.0 with Adaehi. It was an amazing experience. I think it was at the Muriel Kola Park, I believe. It was, it was such, I feel so joyful, watching, seeing people worship, especially this much people. It's something that fills my heart. I know that God is happy, God smiles, to see things like this, so I'm happy.
Nice. So in what ways does your music serve as a channel for carrying out your mandate?
Hey, it's in the it's in the lyrics, it's in the lifestyle, you know, it's in the sound, you know, basically the your words convey your message, you know, so I'd say the lyrics primarily.
So how do you balance being both a minister and an artist in today's world? I think you mentioned a bit of that earlier, but you know, practically, or maybe share a particular experience.
Okay, it's I've been taught and I've learned that your creativity doesn't come in until you have to deploy it. So we receive the songs, and then the artistry comes in when you're having to create the music, right? So the song is received, but then the creation and the deploying of that very song that you have received, that's when the artistry comes in. So you have to be creative, you know, melodies and the production and every other thing else. So yeah, that's the fun part for me.
Can imagine.
Okay, I'm going to go off the scripts, you know, because there's so much that you know, we want to cover. Challenges or tests, because you know, just because you've been given a mandate or you've been given a task doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be so you know, rosy all the time. How have you navigated, you know, because at the beginning you said that there was a time in your life when you really went through some stuff, which is what inspired the song that you sang. So tell us, you know, like during tests and trials, how does maybe your music sort of help you to reconnect with God, or like how has that been really? How did you navigate those difficult times in your life?
Thank you. The thing I've discovered with God is that He uses everything. You know, He uses in fact, when He sees you going through things, that's usually the best time to get your attention. Exactly. So it wasn't any different for me. You know, that was when some of the things that we are doing by the special grace of God now was birthed in those periods, those seasons, you know, where you are facing challenges, where you are lacking, whether financially or where you've been told a lot of no's, right? A lot of doors have been shut, you know, in your face, things like that. And that pushes you to God, and then He uses it to birth, you know, the mandate or birth the program or whatever it is He wants to do through you. So that's pretty much what happened with me too in those seasons. Yeah.
Okay. And those moments, you know, they usually pay off. And talk to us about what have been some testimonies, like to the impact that your music has made, maybe in people's lives. I mean, we just saw people worshiping, you know. Was there a specific testimony or someone walking up to you to tell you that, look, this song really did a lot, I was going through stuff, or whatever. Can you share such an experience?
One thing I do personally is I try to shut out those things, because sometimes they can be distracting.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be very distracting. You know, of course, I've had a few messages, you know, a couple of testimonies here and there, but I give God glory and look forward, you know, to maintain my focus, you know, so that it's a prayer that I prayed. I don't want to know the extent of my impact, so that it doesn't cause. I don't plateau. You know what I mean? You know, so it keeps me focused. It keeps me, because there's always more to do. There's always more. You know, but to the glory of God, we've had quite a few testimonies here and there. You know,
yeah, but at least it's a testament to the fact that impact is being made.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we have what question?
Okay. So, if you could collaborate with any artist, local or international,
I don't want to go there.
who would it be?
Okay, number one, it's always and will always be Pastor Tanebasi. It's been my inspiration. I'm sure I'm not the only one. So so that is number one. And then obviously my big sister Adai, you know, has also been an inspiration to me, to myself. So yeah, and I have quite a few. I don't want to go down the list.
Well, you mentioned two in the country. What about outside of the country?
Outside of the country, I don't think I have really paid attention to outside of the country yet. Okay. You know, because I'm a huge advocate. We have so much here. Don't see, obviously.
Nigeria first.
Yeah, it's there's so much going on here.
True.
I mean, I've been around a few, so we will start from here, from our Jerusalem, then
the world.
To the rest of the world. That's good. That's quite good. That's quite good. So, do we have any more questions?
Yes, okay. So, because there's so much here, let's talk about relevance.
Yeah.
Things are changing. We have a generation that is more aware. You know, there's so much information out there. There's so many other things.
Yeah.
How does
Excuse me.
a gospel music minister, if you like, stay relevant in these times?
Yeah.
And you know, without compromising the essence of why they're doing what they're doing.
Okay. First of all, for me, we serve a God who is all wise. What that means is that He knows what is relevant per time. Yeah. So our relevance, as it should be, is staying with Him. You know, because I mean, I've seen through my personal experiences, through the people that have gone ahead. You know, because I'm very, very, I'm a student of revival, student of of the moves of God per time. God is always relevant. Yeah. He's never going to go out of style. So the best way to remain relevant is to stay with Him. You know, so He will keep updating you as you go. So with every generation, really. It's been that way.
There's Him there. That's deep.
That's quite deep, I must say.
Take us through your creative process, because that also differs. How do songs come to you?
Okay.
Or how do you write your songs?
Yes. Okay. So most times in dreams, I stopped writing songs a few years ago. So most of the songs I don't write. Okay. You know, so like the one you heard, it wasn't written.
I Belong to You?
Yes, it wasn't written. It's some songs, they come by way of dreams, some over time. You know, some because you get bits and pieces, and then over time the Spirit of God helps you make sense of everything, and then when you get into the studio, then your the creative ideas begin to come to the fore. You know, how to put it together, transitions and things like that. I mean, I love being in the studio, not as much as I love being in the presence of God, but I love the creative process. So basically, that is how it happens for me.
Just you don't write.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, are you?
I'm okay.
Okay, so in wrapping this discussion up, maybe someone is listening right now and they're thinking, maybe they're feeling the nudge of God to really be consecrated. Maybe they're singing before, they've been to music before, but now God, they feel this nudge to like, you know what, you need to come out and be consecrated to me and do what I ask you to do. What would be your word of advice? What should they do immediately? You know, how do they, because sometimes it can be a lot.
Yes.
So what do they do? That's your
my advice would be, of course, I'll just prepare you ahead. It's not going to be an easy road. You know, it's not easy. Anything worthwhile is not going to be. It doesn't come easy, and it doesn't come cheap. So the more you invest in your time in God, so sometimes you might not really know exactly what you've been called to do, because God is not going to reveal everything to you at a go. So you have to keep the currency is time. You have to keep spending time with God. The more you spend time, the Bible says in Isaiah 40:31, it said, "And they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength." You know, so the way we run in this kingdom is to wait. To stay with God. So the more you stay with Him, the more He begins to open up your destiny, open up layers and chapters of your destiny to you. And believe me, at some point, you wouldn't want to leave. At some point. So I'd encourage you to stay. Be patient with Him. Be patient with the process. And believe me, you will yield dividends.
Well said. And I know someone, you spoke to someone this morning. Maybe that was all the word they needed to confirm what has been in their hearts. Thank you so much, Chris Bright. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Do keep in touch.
Oh, yes.
Let's know what you're up to.
Thank you so much.
Let that impact continue. Let the people be blessed. Let them be inspired. Let them have an encounter with God because they listened to you. They came across you and your music. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, the morning show does continue. We go on a quick break. When we return, we